Not everyone will enjoy the luxury of convenient choices. By 2050, it's been estimated that more than 200 million people could be displaced worldwide by climate and environmental disasters. And what this simply means is that how we adapt, who we include, and how we empower people will determine our shared future. And examples abound around us. From the wildfires in California in January to the recent earthquake in Myanmar. I will tell you a short story. In one of the neighborhoods we lived in when I was growing up, only a few houses on the street had drainage gutters. And what that simply meant was, during the heavy rainy season in Nigeria, there were only a few places that rain runoff water could pass through. On my street then, rainwater would cause real erosion, as we see in the slides, very ably represented by the work of Onyemesin and colleagues 2017. And in time, the rills would develop into gullies, and that always made motoring quite incredibly difficult. School runs were a torment, and it was always really, really hard. The roads would just collapse. My dad, God bless him, at the time felt, how could he contribute to his community? So he would hire workers, laborers, to fill the rills and gullies with sandbags. And he did that every rainy season, tirelessly. We moved away from that neighborhood. But you see, what my dad did was seen as a lone intervention. Our property is still in that neighborhood, and visits after showed that that intervention was lost because the roads had worsened. Maybe if my dad knew what I know now, maybe he could have used John Cotter's 8 steps of change behavior to inspire community ownership and long-term sustainability of that intervention. An asset-based approach is always key into driving change and empowering people for any intervention that we want to be sustained. I found out in our complex world, often the best solutions start with simple ideas. Cotter's 8-step. You look into your community, workplace, residential, whatever it is, and we identify a need, and we create a sense of urgency around that need. This needs to be done. And who are the ones that we could speak to that could help to implement that need? People with influence. So we build a coalition. And together, you develop that vision. And then you begin to look for people that can help you to implement that vision on a small scale. You communicate that vision, identify barriers that could impede implementation, take those barriers away, and the work starts. As time progresses, there will be positive outcomes, short wins. Celebrate these wins, because then it shows people that this thing works. Do not become complacent. Continue, maintain momentum, consolidate your wins. And in time, many more people will become interested. They will see the usefulness, and there will be collective, increased ownership of this intervention. Then begin to embed it into the culture. And that, we have a tradition, a culture, behavior that we can pass on to generations. You see, has John Kotter's 8 steps worked for me? Yes, it has. In a previous job role, in a different settings, as Global Health Programs Manager, I was able to get the funding and management approval for 2 away days in a year, where the organization could show colleagues that they truly matter and they are valued, and that the organization was intentional about investing in their personal and professional development. And people always responded really positively. Morale would change. Loyalty increased towards the organization. It's been 3 years I left that place. And I'm glad that they kept that tradition alive. The last away day they had was only 2 weeks ago. What I used John Kotter's 8 step to achieve is alive, even after I left that setting. I'm going to round off with this. Empowering people isn't just about giving them a voice. It's about ensuring that voice leads to action. And whether it's in planting trees, responsible waste disposal, managing local resources, advocating for change, in all the ways that we interact with our environment, small actions can lead to global impact. And I'll leave with this. Do not forget that oftentimes in our complex world, the best solutions start with simple ideas. You have power. You have a voice. All around us, problems abound. And always know that your voice, my power, your power, together, we make such a loud noise for positive change, and the world will respond. Thank you.